Good morning. Welcome to Casa TexPina. We're on build day number 45. Build day 45. Okay. Today the guys will be continuing to work on the box window that they started yesterday. They're also going to be trying to complete the block wall around the half bath in the hallway. And of course, everybody's favorite, more lintel beams. Yes, more lintel beams. They're trying to get all those completed so they can start building up from there with more hollow block. The idea is to go up to 3 courses around the outside and 4 courses on the inside. The inside meaning around the kitchen and great room area will be 4 courses because we have a higher ceiling that they have to make room for. Around the outside, the exterior walls, it's only going up 3 courses of hollow block, because they'll do 3 courses of hollow block and then a roof beam that will go around the exterior of the building that the roof will actually sit on. From there, the idea with only 3 courses is that way the eaves or the soffits, the roof overhang actually shades part of the windows. Because if we put it up that additional course of block, we lose all the shade off of the overhang. So that's what we're looking at for today. Let's go see what they're doing and let's get started. All right, this morning, let's do a quick walk around. We got Mr. Ben and Mr. Oliver in here working the forms for the top beams around the maid's suite. Mr. Marvin and Justin are up there in the center. They're pulling off forms from the concrete that they poured yesterday afternoon. Morning. Mr. Jojo and Mr. Wilson catching a bit of shade and still working the box window, bay window now, bay window. Okay, up on the top there you got Mr. Manny. So that means they're working rebar, most likely lintel beams or support beams of some sort. Pulling forms off of the old column that they poured a couple days ago. The brothers June are continuing with fill material as we continue bringing the floor area up to grade. Notice there is a big difference between where it was originally and what we're coming up to, which is just below the top of this grade beam. So that's where they're coming up to around the house. So like I said yesterday, most of the focus is primarily over on this side of the house, over on the guest side. So we still have rebar, they're still moving things around. These guys are still getting started, so I'll give them a couple minutes and do another walkthrough, and we'll be able to see where everybody's focused at today. All right, we're going to get a walk around this morning. Mr. Jericho up on top of the master suite is going to continue the hollow block above the lintel beams. They're going up 3 courses around the outside edge, as I mentioned earlier. The gentlemen are still moving in fill material and hollow block into the inside of the house. Still working the rebar for the bay window. That's Mr. Orland figuring out what the rebar is that will be required for the base of it. Okay, let's go ahead and walk inside the house. Coming in through the main door. Gentlemen are building some more forms for the hollow block. Oh, sorry, for the building more forms for the lintel beams around the remainder of the kitchen. And Mr. Justin is continuing the hollow block on that side of the kitchen into the hallway area. This is the wall between the kitchen and pantry, where you see the column coming up behind the wall. There is going to be the top of the staircase. So Mr. Alex here on the last course of hollow block around the top of the hallway half bath. Once he gets that completed, then they'll start fabricating the again, the same rebar across the top. Just about got the forms built for the maid suite. Still have the center piece to do in the middle. Pardon me. It's there. And they'll be done working on that. They'll probably pour that later this afternoon. All right, time for a post-lunch walk around. We got the mixer running. Walk through the other side and find out which type is in a little while. Putting forms up. Looks like they finished the forms for the maid suite. They're now starting to work on the part of the garage and extend over to the second bedroom. Looks like Mr. Orley finished working on the concrete frame for the bottom of the the rebar frame for the bottom of the bay window. We'll take a look at this later when they finish forming the rest of it. So they've got a little bit of work yet here to do. This isn't ready. Not ready for prime time. Mr. Manny and Mr. Orley are working another beam on the top. This is above the great room, between the great room and the master's suite on the other side. So this beam here should look just like the one that was here yesterday, that is now covered in forms. We'll take a look at it. Looks like they're also forming up the beam across the top of the kitchen. We'll take a look at that. We're also extending hollow block above the dirty kitchen. They finished doing the block above the actual kitchen, so they're up 4 courses all the way around. We'll go walk on the other side of this, see what it looks like from the other side. And Mr. Justin and Mr. Jericho are building the hollow block above the lintel beam up to the roof beam on the master suite. All right, let's go take a look around some more. Whoop. Gotta watch my head walking through here. I'll get taken out. Let's see what they were mixing. Looks like more mortar. Yep, he's mixing more mortar. That means more hollow block. And they're still working the form on this side. Mr. Wilson right there. He'll be working this beam, working the forms for it, and make sure it's got places to hold all the concrete. All right. Okay, guys are pouring concrete around the maid suite. Mr. Marvin up there on top. Mr. Alex down here shoveling into the pails. And a group of the other laborers just doing bucket brigade. So they batched about 3 batches of concrete here just before the afternoon break. Mixing it all back together, get it usable. Put a little bit of water in it, make sure it doesn't get too thick, and pouring away. So they've already done the other side, the outside edge of the wall, and around. They're coming back. This is the return trip, and then after this they've got the wall that separates the maid's room and her bath. They'll be working on that. Okay. Also, still working on the forms. Still working on the forms for the big beam over the picture window. Mr. Manny still working the large beam over the great room slash master suite wall. So that'll help support the ceiling joists that'll be going this way back towards over the top of us. Probably get started on those either tomorrow or Saturday. And on the other side of them, Over here in the master suite, they're continuing the hollow block up around to the 3 courses up to the roof beam. So there'll be a roof beam that'll go across the top up here, right up here, and they'll get ready to get started going this way down the south wall here shortly. They're getting their scaffolding in place. Takes a little time. All right, still continuing with the concrete pour. They finished the maid suite area. They're getting ready to start on the other side of the garage. Pardon the noise. This area here, we're going to work on that next. Whew, that's loud. And Mr. Wilson riding the cowboy up there. He's putting the spacers across the top of the form to make sure that we got enough space between the form and the rebar on the inside when we get ready. The hallway bath has been completed, at least as far as the hollow block goes. The next thing is going to be the beam across the top, and that's what Mr. Orley and Mr. Manny are working on next. Good evening. Closing out a little late this evening. Emie and I had a little bit of last minute business to run into town and take care of before the establishments closed that we needed to go see. So got back in time. It's still got a little bit of daylight, not much left. See if y'all can see the sunrise. Oh, sorry, sunset. See the sunset over on the far end. Guys were busy today, kept busy. Put up some more forms for the beams around the kitchen area. Also, they formed up this large beam here going over the picture window. In addition to that, Mr. Orley and Mr. Manny built an additional rebar beam across the top of this wall here between the great room and the living room. Oh, sorry, great room and the master suite. That's going to hold the ceiling joist from this side, and they'll go all the way across to the other side of the kitchen. That'll help hold up the attic floor. That's going to be a concrete slab floor up there. Let's see, they poured some more of the lintel beams in the maid's suite, as well as the between the garage and bedroom 2. Okay, so they got those taken care of today. That's pretty much a wrap of what happened here today. So if y'all like today's video, please give us a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of these videos, hit the Casa TexPina star in the bottom right hand corner and you'll be subscribed, and you'll be hit the bell icon just below the view screen, and you'll be notified when our next video is available for your viewing pleasure. Until then, have a great evening and God bless. Thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to be notified when our next video becomes available.